Alright, folks, hello and welcome back to Downstage Gaming. I'm your host, Josh, and this is part 7 on our path to truth in our Let's Play of The Letter. When we last left off with the King of Douches here, we sort of dealt with the ramifications of us murdering Hannah, and also finding out that Hannah was pregnant with our child. Whoopsies. And so Luke really was not thrilled with that, but has just made a plan with Johannes to sort of try to make it seem like she left to go off with another man to try to hide the fact that he murdered her. And we're picking up pretty much right after that. There's no peace to be had just yet, apparently. The other man is quick to follow and quick to speak up, as there aren't any to witness such disrespect or to hear what had to be said.
You do realize it has been 12 hours. Rigor mortis has already set in. Any longer, and then it will start smelling like a sewer. I will not be able to do anything about that without removing the corpse itself. In 3 days' time, the smell will have seeped into the walls, and you will have to replace those to even get rid of it. If you're not keen about disposing the body just yet, at the very least we can put it in a freezer.
Well, you can come and wish it a good morning every day.
I suppose a chest freezer for the wine cellar wouldn't raise too many questions. I don't want to think about this right now.
Johannes, this is what I pay you for.
I don't care if you have to fill the room with potpourri or douse all the walls with perfume. Go order a freezer and have it delivered today even. Just make sure it doesn't stink up the place until we get rid of the body. Make it happen. This is your problem now.
If you are not to attend to it, will you be reporting to work then?
No.
You've already cancelled your appointments for the day, but some are still insistent that you keep to your original meetings. The board of directors are especially adamant about talking about the hotel and...
I put up a hand to stop the man from talking before he goes any further. Well, I can already feel the migraine building up from all his worrying. It's a part of his job, I understand, but I said I was going to have the day off. So be assured, I am going to have the bloody day off.
Goodness, no. I think I deserve a break.
What, after all that murder? You expect me to
A
work?
day or two. Or 3 without being surrounded by complete dunderheads. Director Hahn can handle those busybodies for a while, can't he?
For fuck's sake, I can have the week off if I want. My finances will not be the worse for wear. My company and the businesses aren't going to keel over and die just because I decided to take leave for a bit, right? It's not like I'm the only competent businessman there. I mean, at least I hope not. Before there are any more protests, I pull my mobile out of my pocket and toss it his way. By the time he catches it, I'm already halfway out the door.
I'm going out for some fresh air.
Somebody calls, tell him I'm dead.
If anybody calls, tell them they can sort off and bother me another day.
Gray skies loom over in the horizon through the sun, though the sun fights for every precious minute it gets to stay. I believe, yep, okay. Do I even deserve to talk to her now? He's trying to talk to his deceased mother, I believe. It feels wrong to do so after what I've done. Not because I have blood on my hands, no, that's nothing new. But when it's her? When I've killed my lovely Hannah? I don't even need to worry about becoming my father anymore, because I am certainly much, much worse. Damien never killed Eleanor. He never had her blood on his hands. Staring at the flowers offers me no safety from that reality. The peace I came out here for is short-lived when my own mind betrays my guilt. But I'm a stubborn fool who's set in his ways, and I refuse to get up and go back into the house just yet, even if there's no real point in staying in the dirt. And I'm made even more determined to stay when I sense a presence standing behind me. When I told Shrokin that I would tell anyone and everyone to sod off and bother me another day, I do mean that.
Leave me alone, Shirokin. Go make dinner if you want to be useful.
I think those flowers look beautiful, my lord. The parlor, the room where the lady stays for her tea. It could certainly use some.
The lady's dead. The voice is not familiar, though I'm not really one to remember such things. A beautiful woman stands behind me. A servant, if one were to assume from what she wears. And that should certainly concern me when the other household staff members have been sent away for the day. Not to mention, I'd like to think I'd remember a pretty face like hers if she is under my employ. She's pretending to be one of the staff. She's out of luck. And if that is the case, she shouldn't press her luck lest I decide another murder will not ruin my day any further. But I can only feel, at the very least, indifference at her presence and annoyance at most, beautiful as she may be, that did not exempt her from my wish to be on my own. There's a part of me that feels like I'll snap at any moment for the smallest of reasons, and I'm just waiting for an excuse to let go again.
Didn't you get the memo? Are you new? Today is a day off. You aren't supposed to be here.
Am I not? I apologize, my lord. I wasn't aware that we are not expected at our stations this day. It's just that today is such a beautiful day.
Oh, how I love to work in the sun.
I saw you alone and simply thought you could use some company.
Point. The birds are singing and the flowers are blooming. It would be a shame to spend days like these on my own. But with these rare sunny days, I wish I can spend it with my sunshine, my Hana. Something claws and lashes out inside me at this reminder of what happened, of what I did to her. To know that she is not here with me to enjoy these scarce times when dark clouds do not plague our skies. An ill feeling takes over me at the mere thought. I have to swallow down the bile that rises in my throat, force my expression not to betray anything. Any sign of weakness is not allowed. The slightest of slip-ups and I'll be swarmed by sharks hungry for blood. Perhaps talking with another person, a human being that doesn't know of my sins, will do me some good. That, or there'll be another pretty corpse by the end of the day. I love to murder women.
Almost forgive it. You must be really enthusiastic about your job if you didn't realize it's a day off.
I simply owe everything to the lady. Work is all I know. It's the only way I can repay her. But if my lord wishes to take it as enthusiasm, I won't hold it against you.
She smiles. She has that sort of smile that makes one's kindness shine through without words or action. It reaches her eyes, filling them with a strange sort of mirth, as if she's just thought of something very funny. And I'm hard-pressed to return the friendly gesture. I'll be civil. Doesn't mean I have to pretend that I enjoy it. Though I'm debating just dismissing her all the
The
same.
flowers in the countryside are rather beautiful, aren't they? Though I must admit, they do not appeal to me as much as the ones in my homeland do.
And where's your homeland again? Not a native born, then. Probably a foreigner who thought looking for a job overseas would let her live the high life, only for stark reality to slap her right in the face. People like her are a dime a dozen. She's probably one of those undocumented foreign workers, too. There's just a whole doozy of debate about them nowadays. Isn't that right, Luke? Isn't that right? Though it's probably best not to bring... Hey, so how do you feel about illegal immigrants? Like, what's your stance on immigration? Still, I have to rise to her bait. Flowers sound like a safe topic to breach, and one I rather enjoy.
Oh, is that a challenge I hear? You must not have seen a full British garden in bloom then. The roses, daffodils, thistles, and bluebells make for a grand display under the right care.
I think they are much too bright.
Oh, do elaborate. I've never heard anyone call it that way.
Just the way you present your flowers, that is. They are beautiful still. But I think they lack the softness and elegance of the chrysanthemums and cherry blossoms that I have grown up seeing.
So, you grew up in Japan?
Do you work in the gardens then?
Because that would explain why she's so unfamiliar to me. I don't meet much of the staff, if at all, preferring that they remain invisible until they are a necessity. The gardeners especially, as I only really go out to take care of Mother's daffodils and ask that I be left alone under those circumstances.
Oh, not at all. Although I do wish I were. I do enjoy working with plants quite a lot. Not that I am unhappy to be at your service, my lord, but no. I work for the lady of the house and carry out what she requests of me.
Lady of the house? Is that what that old hag of a head housemaid telling the other staff to call her now? Not surprising, really. That woman has always been an upstart, self-important biddy who doesn't know her place. She should really just give up, retire, and enjoy whatever remains of her years. To her age, she wouldn't manage even a position in the Queen's staff. Not that I don't respect that woman, of course. She and I are much alike. Except I succeeded in rising up the ranks of society, whereas she failed. And how she despises me for that fact. Her pride probably refuses her a graceful exit, and I don't really care all too much about her employment until such time the government forces me to retire her. With how old she is, she's always complaining about pains and aches and about young people. She's a difficult character, and she only acts real tolerable around Hana. Not that that'd be a thing anymore, since... Yikes. Well, now I'm just in a terrible mood.
Erengel for Her Majesty, then. That job must be a right pain in the arse. I heard she runs her assistants ragged, probably killing you real slow so she can absorb your life essence in the hopes that it'll make her youthful.
She has her undesirable moments, but I am grateful enough. I have a roof over my head and bread to eat, though certainly the compensation the household provides for us is not lacking. It is generous for me. Too much. Too much for someone as lowly as I did not mean to imply insult, my lord. I'm simply...
I wave it off. Accusations that I'm paying my employees less than proper are often unfounded. I like to think I'm fair with my wages. It doesn't seem she meant any harm by it, but...
You do not look too happy. I really did not mean to upset you. The lady of the house will surely be furious if she hears of this.
Oh, relax. That old hag isn't going to know because I'm not a snitch. But to be frank, I'm just wondering what you're here for.
Oh, just to haunt you.
It's a nice day. A lovely lady like you should be out on the city with some lucky bloke.
Apologies. I did not mean to bother you. I thought you would appreciate the company, what with the rains about to return.
And if I do not appreciate the company, if I wish to be alone, don't you think I came out here for a purpose?
I did nothing to mask my indignance now. If this were any other time, maybe if she were someone else, I would try to be a tad bit simple for a while longer. But if my foul temper will make her run off, all the better. I don't need servants or their imposters nosing about my business. But she stays unperturbed. If anything, she's rooted herself to the spot, still and silent. She looks at me in quiet appraisal while I try my best to see if I can just ignore her. A difficult feat as her stare makes my skin crawl. And what she says next sends a chill up my spine.
But, my lord, that is not what I see. Loneliness casts shadows in your eyes and sharp lines on your face. I see a man who is thinking of the woman he loves. You miss her. You regret. Though I cannot fathom why. She did not deserve you.
With the money and power I have, it is no big surprise that there is a target painted on my back. There have been a few times that someone has tried to take care of me. I've been personally insulted before, called a bastard and a demon. They think angering me will make me slip. The very fact that they do try to get rid of me is insulting enough as it is. But this is different. Nobody has spoken of my mother before to get to me, because nobody knew of her. As far as the greater public is concerned, I am the son of Damien Wright, and whoever was unlucky enough to bear me is nothing but an unfortunate footnote in the history of our family.
Who are you? Who sent you? What do you want? How do you know about my mother?
The venom in my voice is apparent. As is the confusion in hers, because she's not talking about your mom, dude.
Mother? No. I speak of the woman you wed. Her death was a blessing.
But I don't know if this is any better. I can feel the blood leaving my face. We had sent the others away for this exact reason, to give us time to cover up her disappearance, her corpse even. But if she knew about it, well, she has to be taken care of.
What? How did you...
Without drawing too much attention to it, I reach for the mobile in my pocket. One press would be all it takes to call the other man here so that we can get rid of the pest. I do it myself, but I'm unarmed, near defenseless. But my phone isn't here.
I'm going out for some fresh air. If anybody calls, tell them they can sort off and bother me
Love to deal with the consequences of my actions. Of course, of all the time for me to ditch the bloody thing. But I should be able to take care of one woman, right? There's nobody but Johans and I in the property, far removed from the village and the rest of society. A fist to the throat, a quick twist of the neck, a blade to the jugular. Though forget that last one. Unfortunate for me, I don't have my knife either. But looking back at her, I freeze in place.
Is something the matter? You look a fright.
What? Huh? The fuck? I tried to scream, but it's stuck in my throat.
Please do not torment yourself. You have nothing to worry about. I would never harm you. This home still needs its lord, our prince. Come, my lord. The house beckons.
Gone was the beautiful woman, and in her place is this grotesque witch, this monster, surreal and horrifying. That's it. I've gone mad, driven crazy by guilt for the sins I've committed, and this is the devil that would torment me for all eternity. But even the idea that this is all a dream, a nightmare, doesn't stop me from flinching away at her touch. It definitely does not stop me from breaking off into a run. I can still feel her eyes on me as I run back to the house, but I refuse to acknowledge it, let alone look back. All I need is to get away from her and make sure she stays away. And if that means acting like a coward and seeking out company to keep me safe, nobody can tell me to do otherwise. Bravery isn't something to be lauded if it comes along with stupidity. It must have been a sight to see the usually composed and reserved Luke Wright bursting through the doors. But there's a time and a place for keeping appearances. The time when one's life is on the line is not one of them. Mustering up the courage, I look back through the windows to see if she's followed me. She's gone. I feel relieved, though I really shouldn't be. Stopping to catch my breath, Johan's sudden appearance nearly makes me jump out of my skin.
Don't fucking do that, you son of a bitch! If I had a gun, I would have shot you!
If I had any love left for my Mutter, I'd take offense. But what happened to you? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Oh, if only it were such a delusion. Well, it kind of is. But I can still feel the faintest touch of her fingers. The feeling was too real for it to have been a ghost.
In the garden, there was a woman.
And there's always a woman with you, isn't there?
That's not what I mean. Listen, she knows. She knows that Hana is dead.
Strange. The house was empty. Is empty. I made sure of that. Can you describe this woman?
Are you deaf? I told you she knows that Hana is dead. What does it matter what she looks like? What is this with this interrogation anyway? Do you not believe me?
I think you're going insane, sir. Frustration bleeds into my very being when he just raises his brow at me. What does it matter what she looks like, unless we're going to go look for her? Oh, of course. But I have to fight off the panic as I try to recall her features. I hurry up the stairs and into the east hallway with the butler at my heels. All this just to get as far away as I physically can from the gardens before I dare speak of her again.
She had pale skin, dark eyes, and long dark hair. She wouldn't give me her name.
And did she know who killed the madam?
It didn't seem like she knew who it was. But she still knows that Hana is dead. You know I'm not gonna do well if I go under investigation right now.
Rua, bitte. Calm down and think, right? Think. The body hasn't been moved. She must have been near it to know of it. If she knows there's a corpse, we can go about this two ways. Either we find her and take care of her, or we...
Make her take the fall. That's all well and good. Oh, brilliant.
Oh, I love it. Oh, Johans. Oh, I'm so attracted to
But
you.
there's just one thing.
The hairs in the back of my neck stand on end at the mere thought of that woman. I don't know if it was a trick of the light, but I don't think I was imagining things. And though he might think me a lunatic, I can only go on.
Well, she was this thing. A monster. A witch. I know how it sounds. I sound like... okay, fuck. It sounds like I've gone off my rocker with all that's happened.
I expect to hear disregard, concern for my mental state, and maybe even empty platitudes relating it to my guilt. But instead, the other man grows deathly silent, a thoughtful look on his face.
I would normally say that seeing hallucinations is a normal human experience, even if this does not sound like a bereavement hallucination. But the woman you described is familiar. I've seen her before in the mansion. Glimpses.
Is she one of ours then? You must know her name now that you know what she looks like.
Which again would point to the fact that, like, Johans presumably has not seen the letter, yet is still seeing this creature.
I thought at first that her name may have merely slipped my mind. I've asked the head housemaid to reprimand her, for she was always loitering about when I saw her. But the old woman confirms. We do not have anyone fitting the description under our employ.
So what I saw, what you saw, what was that? I don't understand. Explain, Shurkin. Please tell me I'm not going mad.
We will have a head count of the female staff in the morning, and I'll assign stricter security protocols when the staff returns. It's better we rule things out before jumping to conclusions. I will have to check for tampering as well.
Tampering?
Psychotropic drugs to start off with, perhaps in the water supply. I suggest you not worry yourself about it. You are unharmed. That is what matters right now. If it makes you feel any better, I'll stand guard outside for the night.
No, that does nothing to make me feel any better. That woman was a hallucination, a walking nightmare. What good could a guard do to stop her from appearing before me once more? If she comes into my dreams, I loathe to think I would need to cry for help like an infant in need of his mother. A tense silence befalls us, and though I don't dare to speak it out loud, I would say that we both seem scared. Often I'm the first to break anything of the sort, but
Shall I put them in a vase?
I'm confused before I realize what I have in my grip.
What? Oh, these? I didn't realize I still had them.
I really did not. But there they were, still in my grip, are the daffodils I had taken from the garden. Even in the wake of my flight, I had refused to let go of them, whether I was conscious of it or not. They should be for Mother. They could be for Hana, too, but does it even matter? What do dead women care for flowers? Well, I suppose Hana would have loved them.
No, I think I'll take them with me. And if you don't mind, I'm going to turn in for the night.
Of course. I shan't keep you any longer. I'll be out here if you need anything.
I don't care enough to show any sign that I've heard him, retreating into the master bedroom without another word. The bouquet of daffodils is quickly placed before the nursery door. It's almost hilarious how I'm now worried about a woman more than I am the fact that there's a corpse in the next room. But even as a worry for her still keeps me on edge, I feel exhaustion come over me. Not bothering to strip off my clothes, I fall onto the bed, tired and alone. The sickly sweet scent wafting in from the nursery has kept me awake through most of the night. It's intoxicating and nauseating in equal parts. The body has yet to be disposed of, mostly my fault. I have too much to take into account before I rush to a decision. Though perhaps this whole ordeal is being made complex by my sleep-addled brain. I can't be bothered to rise from the bed even when the sun, what little there seems to be today, peeks through the curtains. I don't want to handle any of it. Not Hannah's body, not the security, not Kylie visiting. Right now, all I want to do is actually get some sleep. Still, the thought of that woman from yesterday and the danger that she presented was enough to keep me from even trying. So suffice to say, I'm not very happy that anyone would dare to separate me from my true love, the bed. Oh, Luke, on this we agree. The rain that has started sometime during the night didn't help the mood. Okay, maybe it helps just a little. The strange sunny weather has been nice and all, but for it to return as it should feels like a good sign of things to come. Perhaps things will settle back to normal and the crazy drama that has gone on lately will die down. The rhythmic pitter-patter of the rain fills the early morning silence with a steady beat. Thank goodness I don't have to be anywhere in a hurry today. I would hate to be caught unawares in this rain. With how it looks outside, it seems that the weather is making up for all the sunny days it has given us with good old-fashioned downpour. It does let up within the quarter of an hour, however a day beginning with a cloudburst like this, locals usually take it as an immediate sign. Luxborn's abysmal weather is back, likely for good. There's this rubbish about how the heavens cry with you through the rain. If anyone sentimental enough knows what I've done, they'd probably spout this stupid thought my way. Well, I think it's a load of bull. Hana would roll in her grave at the thought that the heavens made it rain for her. She was never a one for the dreary weather, always enjoying the scarce sunshine on rare sunny days. She had been loving the abnormally sunny week thus far. If only things had not come to this. But it's already far too late to regret everything, and thankfully somebody interrupts before I can start brooding on the what-ifs. Perhaps the only time I can appreciate the man's insufferable prying.
Are you really going to stay in bed all day?
As I always answered, yes.
What do you want?
You must have been really rattled by what happened yesterday. If you need to talk about it, I am quite qualified in that regard.
Papa, I'm scared.
And you aren't even the slightest bit bothered. Truly. Not even the slightest bit worried?
I was worried. But I realized that it's not my life in danger, is it? My worrying will not help matters. Neither will yours.
The detached manner in which he admits this annoys me to no end.
Oh, as a matter of fact, it is your life in danger. Because if I find you lacking, if that woman finds their way anywhere near me again, you'll be following in the footsteps of your predecessor. Are we clear? Do what you have to. In fact, it'd be best if you keep busy. Do what needs to be done, and if I see you even idling for 1 second, I won't be happy.
He doesn't say anything. There's no witty retort. It isn't a threat, but a promise, after all. I don't take kindly to incompetence, especially when it comes to affairs that affect my very safety. I will kill if it ensures that I live.
Are there any updates about the woman?
Being in the dark has me on edge. Information, any at all, may very well help me and calm
I've
me
already
down.
briefed security about her, and more from the agency will be arriving tonight. But they haven't seen anyone fitting the description.
So you have nothing then? Fat lot of use you guys are. What do I even pay you for? Do me a favor. There's the door. Don't let it hit you on your way out.
Well, there is something. It's about McCulloch.
Can anyone blame me if I show the tiniest bit of interest? She's still not done with the house, and she's a nice enough woman. They are not welcome in this home. The niggling voice in the back of my head starts loudly, though its presence is both unwanted and unnecessary.
If they come to investigate her disappearance, you need to make a decision. What will we be doing with the madam?
Because if they come to investigate her disappearance, well, we don't want them snooping about the house. Not until dearest Hannah is taken care of, but I'm the fool who can't let her go. It's ridiculous that I'm so sentimental about something that amounts to nothing more than rotting meat. As it is, the body's still decomposing on the inside, internal organs being the first to go. If anybody found her, they might still think that she's only sleeping, for a sign of flies and maggots aside, anyway. It's been less than 48 hours, but give it a day or two and the thing will only get worse. My bedroom already smells like rotting fruit. The scent is faint and lingering. It's persistent, even with all that Johans has done to decontaminate the place without touching the body itself.
Leave it for tonight. I'll think of something by then. Until then, I want you on top of everything. Now, if we're done here, I'd like to go back to sleep and...
Oh no. Screw what Hannah said, she's dead now.
Johans, distract her.
Oh, look, it's time for me to go. Have fun with your little play date. So long, farewell, and auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.
No, Johans, don't you turn away from me. Keep her busy for an hour. Come on!
I have to press my face against the pillow once more to suppress a groan. You just can't get loyal help anymore. I nearly did, really. It's hard to remember something as trivial as an ordinary playdate when there's murder fresh on one's mind. But there's this instinct, long ingrained, to act as if everything is normal despite the blood on my hands. I also would have spiraled out of control a long time ago, and things wouldn't be as good as they are now. Besides, she's a bright child, tolerable, kid's got a good head on her shoulders, and get pretty mature for her age at times, especially when she's possessed. Of course, they have me to thank for that. Alright, so we go and have some... Oh, my darling Hannah would have loved her so. Did love her so. And Kylie does try to be a good goddaughter, but she just can't keep her interest long with the wife. Unfortunately, Hannah wasn't quite up for those sort of things most of the time, thinking it'll spoil the child. It turned a whole playdate awkward every time. Alright, with some breakfast. I have fun with the crayons as well at the child's insistence, even if I can't really draw. With Kylie using the black crayon, that leaves me with the yellow one. I absentmindedly start to doodle flowers, which are just about the only thing I can actually do decently. Halfway fill the page with yellow when Kylie breaks her silence.
Hello, where is Tia? She's still sleeping in bed again? Is she gonna join us later?
Yeah, don't ask questions. I'll be lying if I say I'm not worried about going on with this line of questioning. I honestly am not expecting her to ask about her godmother. For all that Hannah was her actual godparent, she isn't as fond of her as she is of me. For a moment, paranoia fills my mind. It's suspicious of her to ask about a dead woman for no reason. No, it's not. I do realize this is ridiculous, to think a child is a threat to me. My father might be putting her up to it, to find dirt on me. My mind supplies? Oh, I see, my mind supplies. I'm not too disillusioned to think that the people working under me are actually loyal to any extent. Can't stop myself from being defensive.
What do you care? You've never asked for her before.
Mama's been asking about her. She hasn't visited for a while.
There's a shrug and some sense to her words. If that doesn't relieve some of the tension from me, nothing
I
else
don't
will.
know where she is, Munchkin. She's probably off somewhere doing grown-up things.
That makes sense. Tia does a lot of boring grown-up stuff. There's always a boring grown-up parties. You must be happy you're not doing a boring grown-up thing right now, thanks to me.
You are truly my savior,
Hey,
Kylie.
I'm doing a grown-up thing. I'm taking care of you, aren't I, you little rugrat?
Still on edge, but it's easy to put on a carefree mask once I get a grip of myself. The roll of her eyes, the way she looks at my doodles in a false serious manner helps too.
Oh, your drawing doesn't look grown-up to me.
Nevertheless, like any child her age, the line of questioning doesn't exactly stop.
Is Tia still asleep? I want to give her this pretty drawing I made for her.
And I know that they can't help it, that they don't know where to cross the line out of genuine and innocent curiosity. Yet that doesn't stop me from snapping.
Tia isn't here, all right?
So where is Tia?
She's not anywhere that I know of. Probably at another party, shaking hands and all that.
But she's coming home soon at least, right, Tio?
Enough, you little brat! Can we just...
I don't know where Hannah is. That's the official excuse when her disappearance is looked into. It's easier to claim ignorance, to have a lack of liability if foul play is ever suspected. There would be no mens rea or actus reus if I spin the whole affair and make myself the clueless bystander. It'll be easier to manipulate the story if I remove myself from it, whichever way we choose to deal with this mess. But I've been blindsided by the interrogation of a child. Whispers in my ear conspire.
Silence her.
Jesus Christ! I have to shake my head to clear away the thoughts. She didn't deserve my anger for such innocent questions. Because this is just a kid. This is Kylie. For fuck's sake! I don't need to silence her. I had
Let's
to...
just have fun, all right? I'm so sorry, Kylie. Please don't cry. I didn't mean to.
I raised both my hands in a non-threatening manner, trying to placate her, only for her to take a step away, wide-eyed and terrified. This look on her face just crushes something in me. She doesn't let me say anything more than that before she runs away, crying about wanting to call for her father, about wanting to go home. Her crayons and toys lay strewn about, forgotten. Even Narcissa is left behind. She never leaves her doll behind if she can help it, and now it's looking at me, accusing. I've never shouted at her before. I had no right to. And even if I want to deny it, some part of me was about to raise my hand to her when I promised a long time ago I would never harm a child. Miss Pink, what's wrong about me, it looks like? I am a horrible guardian. I'm not good with kids at all. Or good, period. I just can't help this awful energy that's taken over me. I feel so angry and tense and...
Ah, Sisa, what is wrong with me? Am I going mad?
I don't think I could spend any more time with Kylie considering how high-strung I feel. So it's a good thing that Suarez came for her as soon as I've called. Though it is earlier than the agreed-upon time, he voices no complaint. The bastard even has a look of relief as soon as they left. Or at least I interpreted it as such from where I stood by one of my windows, not bothering to step out and greet them. No doubt he still doesn't trust me around his spawn. Well, he has every right to be suspicious of me. I am a dangerous man, after all. But to my chagrin, that leaves me the rest of the day with nothing to do. Well, aside from picking up the mess Kylie left scattered about in the parlor. To my immense relief, she remembered to take her doll home with her this time. But the same cannot be said of the crayons and papers littered here and there. Okay, so we find Takako. Come to the ballroom where we get our visions. She nearly drops her tray as she enters the lady's bedchambers. The lady is being taken against the wall like a common street whore. That man is not her lord, her prince. But she is not of a station that will allow her to judge. Doesn't keep the shock from her features or from her
Lady,
voice.
I brought the My apologies.
Her voice is small, subdued and shy, though the lady needs no words to express her displeasure as her face turns from one of pleasure into that of anger and accusation. Her glare burns, focused and scolding. If looks could murder, the servant girl would be dead where she stands. All the while her lover still moves in and out of her, either unaware of their audience or enjoying the act even more because of it. My heart feels like it's seizing in my chest, like it's being squeezed and the pressure won't stop until it bursts.
Are you truly storming off over some hearsay? Be sensible!
What you did, it is... There are no words. You bring disgrace to this family. This rotten noble standing in front of me is not the cousin I grew up with. This is not the lady I fell in love with. She would never do such unspeakable things, Charlotte.
I bring disgrace. I bring disgrace. I am not the idiot who's running off in the middle of the night. You promised, Edward. You gave me your word. Don't you dare turn your back on me. I swear to you, if you step 1 foot out of these lands, mark my words, Edward, I will.
What? What is it you swear? Will your men steal me away? Defile me too, like what you did to yourself?
Huh? There is an undercurrent of fear. I'm in danger, my head screams at me. And there is hurt, a deep burning shame I can feel on the woman's behalf. Looking at her, on its own, is a chore I cannot bear. Whispers and accusations fill every crevice. We've seen this one. Alright.
You are one of us, my lord. We are bonded by the blood we've shed.
Because we both killed? Okay, run into Shrokin, freaked out. Breathing a momentary sigh of relief, I sit down on the bed while the other man looks out in the balcony and closes the door
The
behind
balcony
him.
is clear.
And he's thorough, looking at the closets and under the bed, even going so far as looking in the nursery, but it is with that he comes back silent. Johan's eyes scan the room warily, searching to see if he's
What
missed
have you
something.
done with the madam?
What do you mean?
What? Okay.
The body. It isn't there.
What? Last I checked, it's still there. It's not like anybody knows who the fucking body is. Did it just stand up and walk away?
Yes.
Got tired of being dead and decided to unkill itself?
Kind of. It isn't there. That must mean it's somewhere else. And the house is crawling with guards, none of whom knew that Hannah is already dead. I feel the color drain from my face, but before I can take a step out, he raises a hand to stop me from charging out there.
Stay? Do you see the problem we have here, Shokin? Are your eyes open, Shokin? Do you see the problem we're having here, Shokin?
With my own eyes.
What the bloody fuck are you still doing there, then? Honor's corpse. A corpse is missing. If anyone else finds that bloody body, we are going to have an even bigger problem than Suarez's company leak.
Which is why I'm asking you to calm down. This isn't...
You do not understand, do you?
I think Shrokin understands.
Everything is at stake here.
Money, reputation, connections, the company I built, everything! There's no second thought as I reach under the side of my bed and pull out one of my knives. I have no doubt that the other man can take me on if we are both unarmed, but with this, I can even the field. Or at least deter him from escalating the situation and risking hurting either of us.
I'm going out there to look for that damn fucking body, and you're either with me or you're fucking fired! I am not risking anything. I am not losing everything.
Still, like a stubborn mule, he refuses to budge from the door. There's a withering look on him that I try to match. One that somehow I am losing fast to, even with him not saying a word
Can you
yet.
see yourself in the mirror right now? You're in no proper state to go looking for anyone, let alone your wife's dead body. If it will make you happy, I will do the looking. But please, and don't make me repeat this, stay where it's safe, where security can find you. We already have one matter to be worried about. Please don't add another one to it.
Perhaps it is his tone. In spite of his general disdain for virtually everything that has to do with me, I'd like to think that over the years he has grown some sense of duty to his employer, at least. Much as I loathe to admit this, I trust him over any other servant in this house. So, an acquiesce.
You have 2 hours, Shrokin. I don't think it'll take that long to find one lifeless fucking corpse in this godforsaken house. 2 hours. Any more than that, I'll do it my fucking self.
Of course.
Despite his words, he lingers. If I didn't know any better, I'd say he wants to make sure I get in that damn bed and sleep before he turns away from me. What am I, a child? Watching me and treating me like one? There's the reason why we will never get along.
Well, what are you waiting for?
Nothing. I just hope you're happy.
Verily, now mush!
As you wish.
Only then does he seem to get the hint. With a nod, he leaves, locks, and closes the door behind him. For a moment, I still hear his voice while he gives the guards outside firm instructions, then a hush as soon as he departs and his footsteps fade away. One that doesn't quite last. As quickly as the silence settles, the lightning flashes across the sky, followed immediately by the loud boom of thunder. And that wanker strikes so dangerously close that I can feel the electricity in the air. The power goes out not a second later, and I feel as if I'm being mocked by whatever greater power there is. All is deathly still for a moment, but soon, the rain starts once again. Far heavier than the light drizzle from this morning, its pitter-patter hitting hard against this place's roof. Despite the noise, I find myself drawn to my bed, exhausted, hoping for a little nap. I'm safe here. Shrokin will find her, and when I awake, I won't have anything to worry about. It does not take long. Once my head hits the pillow, in a matter of minutes, darkness claims me, bringing with it laughter and whispers of a twisted love from a time long gone.
Who are you? Stay away!
Sweet dreams, my love. It'll be over soon.
And here we are.
You do not belong there, my love.
Not that I mind getting future hours, of course. The bed's more than comfortable as it is after an exhausting day yesterday. Babysitting Kylie and the stress of finding an intruder in my own home. I think I deserve a little break every once in a while, especially after going through all that in a single day. Let the butler take care of that little problem with Hannah while I Hana. Hana's body is still missing. Hana's still missing. The trespasser's still out there.
You do not need her. I am here. We are here. This is where your home is. Where you belong. For all that blood you shed. Come back to us.
How long has it been since? Johans has never taken this long before.
Surely there should have been an update by now. Right?
Hana would be cross if she were still here. Not that it's an immediate problem. If anything, it's this power outage we should be minding first. Though the delay is understandable if he went looking for Hana as he promised. Bloody hell, my safety's also at stake here. And from where I stand at the top of the stairs, I can easily make out their forms, recognize them even. It's all gone crazy when these intruders come into my house. I'm no stranger to a cop playing dirty. The smart ones knew that neither life nor criminals are going to play fair. And if one of this wog sort is in on this, I'm not surprised too. But Lily, the estate agent, she doesn't seem to sort. And Daisy too? What will Kylie think of her Miss Pink if the poor tyke finds out about this? To top it all off, they all have the nerve to look surprised when I announce my presence.
Well, well, what have we here? If I were any less sober, I'd say this is the beginning of a joke.
Surely this time the joke will be funny. Bloody trespassers, what is wrong with these people? They really think I'll be fine with them walking to my home like this? What are they even doing here? If I didn't know any better, they might also be behind Hana's disappearance. They must have a motive. And it better be a good one.
Not to us.
Or a bullet to the head is the least all of them will deserve.
Let's see. A photographer, a high school teacher, and a real estate agent walk into a mansion.
And then they die! Thunder crackles once again, cutting me off. This time its sound hits close enough that it nearly feels as if the windows and the ground itself are rumbling. All is deathly still for a moment. I don't let it stop me, however, as I slowly make my way towards them, taking one careful step at a time, relishing the expression of fear in their eyes. I suppose there's something ominous in this setting, with the heavy rain outside and the lack of light here. I kind of like it, to be honest. Adds something to the atmosphere. Well, I suppose I must look like the villain now. But short of me getting close to them, a noise to my left distracts me, briefly halting my movement, while curiosity takes over every murmurs in my head. It's a good thing, perhaps, that I did, because as soon as I look up, I see him. Another trespasser. Great. Just as he's about to jump down for the furniture that has somehow ended up piled and blocking the door to the parlor. What happened there? Did he really think it's alright to do that in other people's house? Lout.
Teach him, my lord. Put him in his place.
My hand's already moving before any rationale can stop me. Fingers firm at my gun when I finally realize the safety finally release the safety from it and take aim. Not at him, but at his friends. They are his, aren't they? Why else would they be here together? Doesn't matter. He won't let the people he cares about be harmed. My finger on the trigger is more than itching to shoot, but I hold back. Sure, I could have simply taken aim at him. But more than seeing him bleed, I want to see the expression on his face once he realizes everything he is doing is futile. It makes less sense for him to do this, like, to view him, Ash, as the leader these past two times, because he hasn't met Ash this time. He doesn't even know Ash is a cop, necessarily. He's trapped. Lives are in my hand. His life is in my
Had I
hand.
known there would be a party in my own home tonight, I would have opened a bloody bottle or two. People these days, in my own home. Can you believe it?
I can't believe
I feel
it.
so left out.
I can tell the exact moment the realization dawns on him. A short second of his body freezing and blood draining from his face as soon as his feet hits the floor, and he looks up. He's already a prey, trapped by his own recklessness.
And really, Daisy, even you, what would Kylie say?
Luke, this isn't what you're thinking. You have to listen to us. There's something going on here.
Well, obviously, why else would people be trespassing in my home? What about little Lily over there, then? What's your excuse? Checking back if your clients are doing okay? Is that it? Is this what this is?
Oh, we're good, by the way.
Oh, we're doing good, by the way.
Sir, please.
Oh, please, what?
Becca's right, sir. We need to get out of this place. You need to leave.
Tut, not a good enough excuse, darling. You people are the ones who need to get out of my sight. Don't worry. I might consider pressing lighter charges for the woman. Can't say the same for the rest of you. But really now, I swear the people of this city need to be taught the meaning of privacy. This is how you want to start the week. Why don't we just go with a bloody massacre if we want to surprise people in their homes, huh?
It's just a passing remark, of course. Not stupid enough to do something that'll bring negative attention to myself. Reputation and all that, I can't just risk it. Killing my wife, fine, but come on. The thought of having more dead bodies here, it's already quite too much. It'll literally be overkill, especially for someone like me. Nevertheless, joke or not, Feathers wastes no time drawing his own gun at the slight wave of my own, even if he knows it's already too late. Alright, shoots his arm. But eventually his own body caves in, taking the horrified Lily down with him, muttering quietly to her as something distinctly red flows from his body. Blood? This man isn't supposed to be dead yet. He isn't supposed to. I didn't shoot him. I'm sure of it. So what killed him? What in bloody blazes is going on here? Is it so wrong to just want a quiet night where nothing needs attending to? Just one normal night? Quickly, everything has turned crazy with perilous happenings that are hard to explain. But it seems that when it comes to me, death is always around the corner. I want to look him over. This is going to cause more problems. All this screaming and crying for a detective who's died for no apparent reason is giving me a migraine. I need to get all these people out of my house, one way or the other. But in the blurry mess of my vision, none of this registers enough to compel my body to move. Nothing does. Except for the voice unexpectedly ringing above the Discord. When I finally gather the strength to look up, everything falls away into the background. All that matters is her.
I told you, didn't I? Everything you're doing is useless, Ashton Frey. And now, you're dying. Meddlesome fool.
Hannah? You're not supposed to be here.
For a moment, I wonder if it had been me who had died and not her. After all, that can be the only logical explanation as to why I hardly draw breath while she stands there. Of course, another logical explanation would be that I'm high, and this is a really, really bad trip. Either reason doesn't suit me, though it can't very well be the former. Even from down here, I can see the blood that stains her dress. Seeing that makes me feel as if my hands are covered in them once more. Warm and sticky, sweet and sickly.
Oh, Luke, darling, my love. You look so upset. Are you not happy to see me?
But let's be honest here, any explanation, any reason as to why a dead woman walks once more is a bad one to me, especially when it's one that I've killed. I mean, how even?
How can this be? You're...
Do you not find my presence desirable anymore, my love?
What sort of sick joke is
Tell
this?
me what's wrong, my dear prince. Does my presence leave you so speechless?
She says with a smile on her face, tiff and force. A dead body's part doesn't seem as malleable as they would be on a living human. She takes a step forward and her movements are stiff and choppy, like a corpse being forced into position despite the rigor mortis, like the corpse that she should be. I find my voice once more when she takes a careful step forward. Just the thought of that thing approaching just makes my skin crawl. She stops to listen, fixated on my voice and on my words.
No, you're not. You're not supposed to be here. You can't be here. You're dead.
The "I killed you" is left unsaid, considering present company.
And I have returned for you.
You don't have to do this. You can still have it all, Luke. Just please. Don't you love me? We would have been so beautiful.
I can still hear her pleas as she begs me not to be rid of her. Not once have I forgotten this particular crime of my own. No matter how much I wash my hands, I can still see her blood on them. She's dead. That is an irrefutable fact, and nothing short of the devil would bring her back.
Why are you acting this way, my love? Does this not make you happy?
I feel like there's something lodged in my throat. My heart feels like it's being sat on with how tight my chest feels.
Of course I'm happy to see you again, Hannah. Of course, I love you, Hannah. But how do I know you're... How do I know you're you, darling?
Whatever do you mean? You look perturbed. Why not come here? I can make you feel better.
By act of some malevolent god, she was back? I don't think she would take too kindly for what I had done to her. This certainly isn't what I would expect. Not the fixated gaze or these loving words. There is no accusation in them, no anger, when Hannah has every right to look at me so. My guilt is overshadowed by the oddity of these illogical circumstances.
No. Stay where you are. Stay back. Don't go near me. Don't touch me.
It is that rejection which turns her expression absolutely fearsome, and everything turns to complete and utter shite. Hannah's body shudders and shakes as if she's about to have a seizure, until her visage ripples and changes. golden yellow hair is slowly stained with inky black, and her face melts into that of the woman, the maid from before, with a menacing expression on her face. Along with it is the shifting of the very ground we stand on. It is a slow thing, a whisper more than a bang, as the darkness creeps into every corner of the room. The walls shudder and groan, blood runs on the ceiling, crawls down, and walls stain the floor. The walls and stains the floor. It feels as if life itself is being sucked from the house slowly but surely. The beauty of the place is gone, with only the dead, decaying remains of a mansion left in its wake. I don't have to wonder if it's just the foyer that's begun this nightmarish place. I can already hear it. Gone are the growling of thunder and the lashing of rain and wind against the foyer's high windows. All of it has been replaced by a more grating sound. A cacophony of voices from nowhere and everywhere echoing throughout the now horrid walls. Voice that neither belongs to us nor the people who live here.
What's going on?
Help! Please!
All throughout the house, shouts of alarm and surprise ring out, a mirror to the horror creeping up in each of us. Who wouldn't be shocked? This is insane! Even Daisy, feisty woman that she is, trembles at the sight of it, clinging desperately to Lillian Steele, who stands protectively in front of the two. I suppose it only makes sense for the man to take on that role when their friend is gone. Something to hold on to when there seems to be no end in sight to this insanity. If anything, this only feels like it's the beginning of the end.
Oh my god! Please, somebody! Anybody! Who are you? Stay away!
No. Stay away. Stay away.
Mother of God, pray for us sinners.
I'm sorry.
Their screams fill the mansion. She laughs all the while, a harsh, agonizing sound that goes on for what feels like forever. Until there is nothing but silence, her horrid smile and pale hands reaching out to me, calling, beckoning, pleading. I'm terrified, I really am, like I should be, but I've never been one to truly stay afraid. I've long learned that fear will not get me anywhere. Cowering in a corner doesn't keep me safe, and it will not keep me alive. Not like rage does. I've learned to use this building hate inside of me to survive. There is no difference now.
Stay away from me!
Why do you wish to leave? This is where you belong, my lord. Remember the blood you shed.
The very same one that now taints this house, along with many others.
I did not do this, you lie! I did nothing!
What of her then? Your wife, your sunshine.
Called out.
Doesn't her blood already stain these halls? Stain your hands?
Then, Hannah's really? You're the one who... You killed her. Your own wife!
She's lying!
The words sound so familiar. Just a few days ago, I spouted the same ones with that vile woman who ruined everything. If it weren't for that munter, that harlot! But it's no use. The seed has already been planted in their heads. Defending myself, especially against the likes of him, is pointless. Bloody hell, even Daisy's now looking at me with the same revolting stares people have given me once they know of my dirt.
So it's true then? With Hannah? Hannah, Luke?
I don't know what she's talking about. Are you that gullible, Daisy? Do you really believe the words of a murderer? She killed your friend over there.
Now you deny it.
Pointing fingers, aren't we? You see, my love. No difference. No difference, you and I. Just like the rest of us. Just like every single soul in this putrid wreck. We've waited for so long. You can hear them, yes. Their pleas, their calls, their invitation. Come, my lord. The house seeks its master.
She, the monster, reaches out again, her hands a gory, abhorrent sight, along with that smile spread across her face. My body's already moving on instinct, stumbling back one step at a time in a desperate bid to be away from her, anything to put distance between me and that vile creature. No matter what she says, I am nothing like her. I need to get out of this house, out of this country, preferably. There's nothing for me here, not anymore. Nothing to keep tied to this place. With Hannah gone, Shrokin likely taken by the woman as well, nothing's left to bind me to this wretched city. I can leave, My foot steps on something, sending me sliding on my back and flat on the floor. Beside me, a paper, familiar one, flutters down. It's this thing again from the open house, though it feels less like a gimmick and more like a threat with recent events. Must have fallen from the detective in the commotion earlier. And with its owner having died a gruesome death, now it simply bears its equally grisly message for everyone in the room to see. Help me. Help me. Help me. Is this it? What they've been telling us? With everything in my life has gone to shite? Well, because of some stupid old letter? An invitation, indeed. One I am not willing to accept. Not any time. At the top of the stairs, the creature moves again, drawing my attention back to her. Her gait remains slow and awkward as she walks forward, that smile never leaving her, but I won't give her the chance. I am not dying here. Adrenaline kicks in, and despite panic gasps and worried glances from Daisy's friends, I pay them no mind as I reach the main door and, without warning, the door slams open, revealing not the mansion grounds like I'm expecting. Before my mind can even comprehend what's happening, black tendrils have already coiled tightly around my limbs, dragging every person in the foyer into the room. None of us even get to scream when darkness completely envelops us upon the doors closing.
Understand where your place is now, my love. You belong here. Is it so difficult to grasp? We've been waiting.
Alright, folks. We have basically just about made it, I believe. So we are going to call things here, and starting next time, I believe we will be at the true ending, and hopefully get some answers that we have long been seeking. Until then, this has been Downstage Gaming. I have been your host, Josh, and I will catch you all next time.